do lado? Tem? Começar? Ou já rolou? What's up, guys? We are live here again at PBJJF Studios for our 14th podcast. Make sure you guys are watching right now. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for sure, and also share this video with everybody. So we're here with the man, Scott Dance. He came all the way from DC area, District MMA, and I'm here with my brother Max again.
What's up?
Always. And yep, another thing we want to talk to you about is our sponsor, Brave Kimonos. Brave Kimonos is the best gear you guys can find out there. Brave does wholesale for schools, does directly sells on the website, so you can go to PBJJF. So I'm sorry, bravekimonos.com and use PBJJF or PBJJF10 for 10% off. So go right now, not right now, after we finish the podcast, go and buy your product. And if you're a school owner, you can reach out to Brave, and Brave can get you set up with a wholesale account, and then you can purchase products directly from your school and resell for your students. So that's the way to go, guys. Brave Kimonos. Also,
Shout out for Roll Live.
what is Roll Live, Max? Tell everybody
Roll
about
Live is a
Roll Live.
platform, a video platform. They do our screen, no, or live stream on the tournaments. It's a good thing to add for our events. People can see you and watch your friends fighting. For anywhere. Just go to YouTube channel for the PBJJF, the event name, and you're gonna.
And I just spoke with the Roll Live CEO. He said Roll Live is going to start doing instructional videos with all of the gym's professors, and world class
DMVR,
competitors. So, and Scott, to let's link it up and make it happen.
I would love to do it.
That'd be great. Hey, Scott, thanks so much, man, for being here today. And it's a pleasure to have you here. We met a couple years ago, right? And we started talking. So you're a businessman, like you work very hard, still competing. And look, share with us, tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, well, guys, happy to be here.
Thank you for coming, my friend.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, JP, I'm Scott Dance. I'm one of the owners of District Martial Arts in Arlington, Virginia. I opened up DMA in 2017 with a couple of my teammates who we were all coaching at Nova MMA, which was like a DMV, Northern Virginia, long time, like staple, big name gym in the area. A lot of guys kind of came and went from there. I know Ryan Hall was there for a long time, Jeff Ruth. They were with the Team Lord Urban dudes back in the day. And so like a lot of people came and went out of that gym. But anyways, when that gym closed doors in early 2017, me, Charles DeGisco, Kamal Shah-LaRousse, and Sam Sharma, we were all coaching at Nova. We basically like had no home for about like a month, so we would like scrambled to find a place where we could lay down some mats and just keep training really at first. Wasn't a big team. It was like about 35 students, which is better than nothing, right, when you start?
Yeah.
So,
Which is really good already.
They saved our ass. Like they got us. I mean, we're lucky. We still have I'd say like the majority of those guys are still with us.
Cool.
Yeah, but we opened doors in this like small like attic like gym in Clarendon in the Arlington, Virginia area, and it was. I mean, you guys know how it is. Like, if you lay down some mats, like, you want to train, you'll train anywhere there's mats, and you need to. And we were just happy to launch the business, but it was not suited for, like, a jiu-jitsu martial arts gym. It was we were above a dentist's office. Mm-hmm. So, like, we're, like, smashing into walls, and these poor dudes are down here trying to do root canals.
And they were like, oh, my God, these guys need to move in.
Yeah, and there's, like, music playing. Our next-door neighbor was poor... Bless her heart. She was a med spa owner, so like massages, therapeutic. She was trying
like all relaxed,
trying to relax. And we're over here like, you know, the music's like ding, 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 ding. People are yelling, smashing against the wall. We had to rebuild the wall once, like one of those. Like we were like just, you know, like MMA, wall work, wrestling, smashing the walls. Anyways, but those were like, it was like fun, right? It was talk about scrambling to launch a business. I know you guys both own gyms, like so you could probably relate to this. But that first, we were there for 2.5 years before we moved into Ballston, where we are now, and I know like you've done a Roll Live episode or whatever at that facility, much better facility.
It's look nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
You got to come down sometime.
Sure.
I would love to have you guys. Maybe do a seminar.
I'll stop by for a train.
Yeah,
for
please,
sure, man.
please.
Yeah.
But night and day compared to the first unit we were in. But yeah, man, it was like fun. It was sort of like it's like looking back on like your upcoming years. You know, like we went from like 30, then to 60, then it's like 100, 120, and so on and so forth. Like members, we got to where the business was stable. It was running, and then it became all right. Like we're surviving. Now we want to clean up the facility. Let's enhance some programs.
Building up it too, no? Yeah.
Exactly. Like bring on some more coaches. Let's see. Okay, now that we've got X number of dollars coming in, why don't we invest in new clean mats or better equipment? And next thing you know, we were filling up at that spot. And then that was when we moved in 2020, February 2020, into Ballston.
Right after COVID.
Right as it began.
On the beginning.
So our grand
when
opening.
When was it?
February 2020.
The month before.
The month
everything
before,
closed.
that's right.
Oh my God.
We had a big grand opening. Invited a bunch of friends. We had like 75 people in the. It was stuffed. It was awesome.
How did landlord?
How did he handle it?
The landlord worked out with you.
Thankfully, we have a good relationship with our landlord. So we basically reached out directly to the landlord and said, hey, like, and we had just signed the lease. Keep in mind, right? Like he had been working with us for probably like 4 or 5 months, of just getting in, doing some of the like tenant improvements in the unit. We had good negotiations with them. Like everything was in good faith. And then thankfully, like, so I remember I wrote him an email and said, hey, here's the situation. You know, can you work with us on the next couple of months while our membership starts to like decline? Because we went down by like, we were down to about 40% approximately of our overall student membership, with the other 60% like understandably trying to keep an eye on their paychecks, right? They didn't know what was going to happen. None of us knew. But I emailed him and he was like very willing to work with us. You know, gave us some discounted rent, said, hey, like, obviously we just moved in, so he's like invested in us for the next 4 or 5 years. Like he needs us to be paying our bills and healthy.
The
Exactly.
business to be healthy to pay him.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of ways that was, that's it's super important, right? Like you want to have like someone who's willing to work with you like that, and thankfully, it set us up for some success. So, I mean, we were down for, I would say, by like July that year, we had turned a corner, and that was when Virginia. I know it's different in Maryland. I'm curious to hear how it was for you guys. In Virginia, that was when the governor started to let like what would you say, like ease back the restrictions, and then we were able to open our doors
Some
a little
rules.
bit. Exactly.
I remember you guys.
Nobody followed that.
I remember you guys. You guys are more restricted in
comment.
DC area, right?
DC
Virginia.
was the most. DC was the most. Virginia, I thought. I don't know as much of what like how Maryland handled it. I thought in terms of like the most strict, it was DC, then Maryland a little bit more, and then Virginia. Like they were very similar, right? But Maryland, I think, was a little bit longer on some of the phases of reopening. Virginia, like they were strict, but and we're in Virginia, right? Just across from Georgetown in Northern Virginia. But we like. I mean, all things considered, I actually thought our governor at the time did a pretty good job of like trying to keep things well managed during a pandemic. Like no one knew what the hell was going on, right? But he was still friendly enough towards businesses. But I'll tell you, man, like I heard stories from just friends in the fitness industry in the district who got fines from people calling in, hey, I see people training, like weird stuff. Like
We got these on day school I teach before, and cops stopping by, blah blah blah. Should stop the training, leave it.
You invite the cops to train? Come on,
Come on, man.
Come
should
on,
train.
man. Come on, dude.
But it was tough times for everybody. You know, really, it was tough for everybody. You know, people that lost their lives. You know, family members, like really tough times. And we're glad to be able to keep running these schools right the way we are now. It seems that jiu-jitsu, we know jiu-jitsu is growing way more, and I think that's kind of like click on people to see that they need to be around other people. Like we can't be stuck in a room, like jiu-jitsu can bring that back to their lives, because life's changing a lot after COVID. Everything's more digital. People are working from home more, right? How do you say? More mobile work, right? Remote, more remote, and we kind of start facing away. We're not even nowadays. We're not even picking up the grocery stores anymore. Like we're not even talking to people. Hey, just drop this stuff in my door, and
my
like
door. That's
you
true.
know, like so, like jiu-jitsu kind of brings that back to us, right? Like that relationship, that connection, like community. We hug each other all the time, man. Like, oh, come on.
Hey,
In the
sometimes
US,
you don't know the people, the person you train, and after you feel aware, it's like his
Your
big
brother,
friend.
Camaraderie, right?
Yeah.
There's like that,
The
that's
brotherhood.
the best way to make friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
You're
And
right. It's bad for mental health, right? Like everyone's life now is through one of those or like this, as you said, and it seems like it's only headed more in that direction, right? Just society in general.
Yeah.
But for us, right? Like I don't know about you guys. I imagine like I'm assuming we're all kind of the same here, but like our community is our like our gym, like our dojo. We go in. You have your
Yes.
team. You have your
Yeah.
team. I have my team. But PBJJF, we all come together. We say, hey, we hug. Okay, we
Exactly.
kind of go. We coach our boys. We give each other hugs and stuff. Man, hey, good team looks good. Like, man, it's so few people have that community. Which and before we started the show, we were talking about this, like bringing more of this is what a big shout out to what you guys are doing at PBJJF. Bringing more activity into the DMV area where there's a ton of jiu-jitsu, really, right? Like
high level.
High
high-level
level
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
And shout out to Max bringing his new academy here. That's awesome. Yo, I mean, seriously, that boom, just add another big high-level academy, ADCC veteran, right? Like this is huge for our area, man. But as you said, like for years, I think people who know, especially competition jiu-jitsu, are aware of like the academies in the DC area. But most, like if you're not really in the the community, I think the casual fan isn't really as aware of like how high level, as you said, jiu-jitsu is here. But I think what you're doing, it sort of one thing I'll say about that is because we're all kind of like historically we've been somewhat disconnected, right? You have the Maryland guys over here, some of the Virginia guys, you have DC, Beta Academy, but we all starting to come together more. We see each other more.
Yeah.
Now it's like what they have in Southern California, right? Maybe like Miami area, where there's like these guys have like a community that's like probably 5 or 10 years ahead of us.
That's true. We a little bit behind on
But
that.
but but we're catching up fast.
Sure.
East Coast people, we work a little bit harder than
We
they
do.
do.
We do.
You
A
know.
lot.
I mean,
A lot.
cold weather. My cold weather is kicks your ass, right? It forces you to do things.
Forced to do
yeah,
some.
yeah.
Such a
On an
fast,
uncomfortable zone.
hey,
That's
such,
right.
Such
That's
a fast
Oh,
pace.
it's so
here.
nice. I'm just gonna go surf today. That's like it's California people.
That's right.
Spoiled.
Yeah, but the thing's like, hey, we're while they're sleeping, we're working.
That's right.
We'll catch up, and like a lot of times, like we see like those other federations. There's federations that inspired us to do what we're doing. You're like we see that, man. That's an inspiration for us to keep doing our work. We're like we're not competing with any federation. We're really trying to do our work, and we're really inspired by a lot of the other federations.
Especially the large ones.
Yeah, like IBJJF. I'll give that. So IBJJF is a big inspiration for us. We both
Shout out for Carlinhos.
shout out
We
for
wonder-
Carlinhos. We want you here.
Still love you.
Carlinhos Gracie Jr. It will be great to have you here. There's many people that inspired us, through our journey. So we're here. We're trying to. They pave the roads, right, for us to like have a smoother path, like you probably do to your students, right? You probably went through the mountains, and now you're just like, hey, just go that way. I went through that way. It didn't work. I know that's the right path. Maybe that's the best. Try out this path better instead of making more mistakes. So it's kind of like what we're doing, like we see what works. We take care of safety is number one priority for us, and we believe that safety having that as a priority will help us to grow jiu-jitsu as a whole. We wanna have PBJJF to grow jiu-jitsu, grow
Right.
more of your school, grow other schools by bringing new people into jiu-jitsu. Not only for the entertainment part of jiu-jitsu, but the benefits. We really believe that benefits what brings people to jiu-jitsu in a positive way. You know, man, like you're looking good. Oh, you're getting in a better shape. Hey, you look way more calm. Well, you know, like those are instead of drama. Oh, I want to watch this guy because he's causing. No, no, that's not what we believe. What we do at PBJJF, we want to grow slower pace with positivity. We'd rather go that way than a faster pace with drama and trash talking and stuff like that. That's kind of like away from our vision, you know. So
Back a little bit on the COVID time, I think a lot of people looking for healthy,
yes,
like lifestyle too after that, because it's a big thing. Like if you're overweight or whatever, that a lot of people die just because of that. You know what I mean?
One of the biggest comorbidities was just obesity.
Yeah.
It
And then
wasn't
like
COVID. It was COVID plus obesity.
plus a bit, and boom,
Yes.
done. And now people look to be more healthy and like in shape or whatever. And jiu-jitsu help on that too. Do you know what I mean?
100%, man. I even just, I mean, just speaking for myself, but I always tell this to my students. It's, I remember when I like went from being a casual jiu-jitsu student to taking it more seriously, to competing with pros, and so on and so forth. But every time I kind of stepped up my focus, I noticed that I started thinking about my lifestyle differently. Like, I got training tomorrow, so maybe I won't go to happy hour and drink 3 drinks. You know, okay, I've got training the next day, so, you know, I really should start eating better, you know? Okay, like, you know, next thing you know, it's like a huge ship on like a, you know, when the ocean kind of steers this direction over time, you make all these small adjustments, and next thing you know, you're like, clean protein, you're not drinking, you sleep 8.5 hours a night, man. Like, it just takes on, it pulls you in the direction you want to go. You become an athlete.
Yeah.
Even if you're like a lawyer or whatever,
Hey.
right? You're like, yo, why not? And it makes you better at everything else you're
And
doing.
everything,
too.
give you like
Yeah.
discipline and a lot of things.
Yeah.
All the lessons you get on the mat, you're able to translate back to your life. That's exactly what I'm saying. And like I was talking to my wife for, you know, like how important is for you to be in a, or for us as humans to be in an environment that builds us up, you know, with positivity, with, because we're part of our environment, right? We become who we hang out with, you know. Like you said, I'm training with those guys. Like, oh, I'm gonna eat a salad. He's like, man, I don't want to eat a burger around those guys. Like, I want to eat salad too. So you start changing your habits by just being around those people. It helps. If at least for me, it builds other things, you know, without knowing. Just like, hey, I'm gonna start. Oh, do you drink? No, I don't drink. Do you smoke? No, I don't smoke. Do you smoke? No. Like, hold on. Why would I smoke?
You're like,
If
me
nobody,
neither.
I want to be like
Me
you.
neither.
I want to be like you. I don't,
Yeah.
you know, like
Hey,
that's
look,
kind of the,
no,
No.
definitely not,
I
man.
for sure
Oh my
don't.
God.
you know, that's kind of the, you know, like the
Maybe
habit you build
sometimes.
with your group.
It's 420 week.
Yeah,
man.
like-
Give yourself a break.
So that's the, you know,
The culture,
The
right? Like
culture.
they say you're like the 5 people you spend most of your time with, right? You know, that's like you
Yeah.
two, like
It's like
business,
reflect. Yeah.
training, you know.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
like,
goals. You've got goals, and you're doing stuff.
That's true.
and we meet people. We attract people that way in our life. When you start like doing things, you start attracting people that way. You know, like yesterday we're setting up the podcast. We met with 2 people that works with podcasts. Just random stop
And
by,
the,
Yeah.
Oh,
randomly. You know, like you
That's
start
a crazy
attracting them.
connection. Crazy. We never.
you
Right.
guys should go on their show. Do like a little like. I mean, I feel like that's what podcasters
Collab, yeah,
do,
yeah.
right? They just like you mix and match audiences, and maybe like I don't know what their podcast is on, but like if 5% of their audience jumps over here, 5% of your audience jumps over there. Man, it's kind of like good exchange.
Increase your,
It is.
your
Yeah.
channel, you know, everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think the goal, like, we're building a studio. Maybe eventually have different podcast styles. You know, like now focus on only competition. You know, like different. Like we're building like a studio where maybe
People can
there's
use
other
it too. You know,
other
in the
po-
future.
possibilities of building different type of channels with jiu-jitsu or maybe different
You create your own
ways.
podcast network.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what these dudes
That's
do.
kind of.
I like it.
You know, to build a more different audience. Maybe people now like about jiu-jitsu and business. All right, let's have a podcast just focus on how to run a school. It's something
Diet,
out there.
lifestyle,
It could, yeah,
like,
lifestyle.
launching a
diet.
business.
Mhm.
All these
But
Working
things.
looks
out.
now we talk
Yes.
about everything. That's what I like.
Yeah.
You know, we get here, we talk about like competition, talk about business, talk about like lifestyle,
Hobbies.
hobbies.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I really like that because it's not like I would go there and just gonna talk about this.
You have your list.
No, it's
Yeah.
a conversation
Yeah,
we
yeah,
just
I know.
started.
We
Yeah.
know each other, like we come like, because it's more for us. It's more natural. It's the way we talk. It's like a conversation, you know. Like it's the way we like to do
Get a
it.
little bit closer, please. Not to the mic. Yeah, better.
How's that?
Just to the camera.
Okay,
So
okay.
soon will be a new upgrade. Will be different cameras where you're gonna be switching
I see.
after time you talk.
Yeah.
Comes the close up to us. So
Okay.
there'll be more better.
We
better
just start,
camera
guys.
1, camera 2.
Yes,
and
yes.
three, 1, 2,
Oh,
3.
I like.
So
That we
That's
just
gonna
2
help.
weeks in the business,
2
guys.
weeks.
Be
We're on the
patient.
14th, and also, as you know, Scott is the first guest with the new mic setup. So I
Wow.
hope you guys enjoying there with the.
Leave a comment how
Quality.
they run, how the quality
let
is
us
doing.
know the quality of the audio too. If it's working for you, we can make some adjustments, and everything's for us. Our connection, you know, we love hanging out and talk to
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
with everybody that comes to our podcast, and also to share experience to everybody that's out there. You know, maybe your students are watching and they never got to know part of it, your story. You know, like your life. 'Cause it's hard for you to keep telling everybody. You know, so many
Especially when
people
they
come
school
in and
grow
go.
now.
It's true. Well, you walk into your gym, right, and you kind of have a job to do. You know, you're like, all right, like, there's the business part of it, right? There's just certain operational things you got to do. Make sure the place is clean. Talk to whoever's working the front desk. Make things are the coaches everywhere in the right place at the right time. How does the facility look?
Yeah.
Then you go in, and you're probably going to coach yourself, right? So then you kind of like shift gears over to coach mode. So then, all right, you put on your clothes, you get in there, make sure everyone's on the mat, everyone looks good, everyone in the right place. Okay, let's start. Let's get warmed up. So you kind of like, excuse me, yeah, you're in like you sort of have like almost like a playbook you got to run. It's as you said. Sometimes it's kind of nice and informal. Like I'll go into my gym sometimes and just casually just kind of hang out, just relax and talk to guys because community.
I can't wait to get on that time.
Ah,
Get there and somebody teaching and just step in on a class. You know, that's
Professor Max though is on it. He's got to coach the classes. Yeah.
then now it's hard to do 3, 4, 5 classes back to back. You know, but get that
With
just like
time, with time.
yeah, just
We're
4
going
months.
to.
Just show up in like 4 months.
Yeah.
That we growing slowly, you know. But I'm really happy how it's going.
Good.
But I can't wait to get there and just train.
That's right. That's right. Do you have anything coming up? Do you have anything like you're preparing for, like a fight or?
No man, like I just have MMA fight couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, I lost, but and now I will slow down a little bit my MMA because like a lot of things going on, and I will travel to Atlanta with couple students to coach then. I put my name there now. Why not?
The Open?
Yeah, I love to fight.
2 weeks or 3 weeks?
3 weeks
May
now.
5th and 6th.
Yeah, May 5th and 6th. Fighting in pajamas, man. After you fight MMA, fight jiu-jitsu is easy. You know what I mean? It's like
No one's hitting
no,
you.
like it's for the feeling. Not easy on technical skills or whatever. You know, you should train hard. You should be prepared. But like the heart don't run on the same
Stress
way.
is way
Yeah,
low.
they stress way low.
Hey,
Like-
for me was the opposite. MMA, I just went there like whatever. Jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu.
JP has two MMA fights.
Three.
Yeah.
But I quit. In I did more 6 months. I
Bang,
was
bang,
like,
bang.
I'm done. Well, I did 2 on one night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like as Grand Prix.
The guy
Brazil?
called.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Brazil, they called me like on Monday for me to fight on Saturday. I was like, I'm ready. I train every day. Like, if I do jiu-jitsu, I'm gonna beat those guys. My jiu-jitsu needs to be better than their jiu-jitsu. Ended up working, so I was able to submit both of the guys. But and then I fought later, and I was able to knock out a guy, luckily, because unexpected. I trained striking, but
The goals
It
get that
happened.
into jiu-jitsu.
The goals doing jiu-jitsu.
But that, especially in the beginning, you don't want to take the risk like I did.
But for me, it was the opposite, Max. Because like in jiu-jitsu, I put so much work into jiu-jitsu. At my personal experience, Max put a lot of work in MMA too. I didn't put maybe as much into MMA, so it was like, whatever. For me, it was like whatever.
Your
you know,
expectations
like,
were
yeah,
just
it's like
let's go,
whatever.
let's go fight and find.
Yeah, you know. And then jiu-jitsu, like I train, like we train all day long, you know, for jiu-jitsu for that match. So jiu-jitsu for me, it kind of gave me more adrenaline because of
And respect too. You're like, man,
Yeah,
I train
like,
a lot. I
I
put too much
expect
work
to
on.
win,
I
yeah.
get
Care
that.
a
I
lot
want to
about
win.
it, right?
Yes,
You
I
have
care more,
expectations,
yes.
You want to like, yeah.
But some like Max put a lot of work. I've seen like so
I
many
train a
for
lot,
2 years,
yeah.
almost a year,
Two,
or 2 years,
year and a
already,
half,
right?
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Did
putting
3
like
fights on this time.
consistently work, you know, throughout his journey into MMA. So I think what's
Well,
kind
you
of
know the thing, I feel the fight scenario to me now is my professional hobby. Do you understand? It's hard to. I don't pay my bills with this yet. Do you know what I mean? It's like the things I do outside there pay my bills.
Yep.
But like I still take it serious, but I need to balance that. You know, I start them off. They gotta pay bills. You know what I mean?
You got a family,
gotta
you got
have a
things to do,
family.
yeah.
And now like, okay, I will fight MMA in 4 months. You know what I mean? I focus these 4 months. Fight after I need to back and take care about my business again. You know, and then I keep this balance. And but like I told, I feel that it's relaxed now to fight jiu-jitsu. I put my name. I train with my students like I did for my last 4 years. Then I train with my students. Try take the best from him. You know, from the man. I get that right. He got a good open guard. I jump on his open guard, and I work that. And somebody has a good half guard. You need to be a little bit smart on your training when you don't have that much
Resources.
body
I see.
to work. You know.
For both of you, I'm curious. Like when you have a fight or a tournament or something like that coming up, competition. Do you feel like you have what you need in your academy, or do you go cross train other places too?
Do you want?
I use I was cross training. I did. It's been a while since I competed last time. So, but I was way smaller, right? A small guy, I can find more training with my students.
Okay.
For me, so I was able to train, build the guys up. A lot of times I've fought with my white belts. Like I fought Gary Tono, train with my white belts. You know, everybody pretty much. Once in a while, I would go to train with Abimar, because it's kind of far trip. Denilson Pimenta was coming here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the way for me. You know, 98% was training
your
with my
academy.
students.
Like before, I have more. All my life, I have a lot of training. I never should think about training. Just should jump in the mat and be there on GF teams. Already give me like what I need. I moved to SA. I need to learn how to train first, especially when I don't have much connection, you know. And I start to do like a lot of specific situations. You know what I mean? And 2 years ago, and on ground control, started like a competition train, and a lot of people come to train with me, and that's good because I don't need to go around, you know. But now I don't have that much because I just opened my school 4 months, you know. I got like 10 higher belts, like between purple, brown, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely, if I need to, whatever, look, I will fight towards this year. I will need to do like some cross train, you know. But for the open, I just train to my students now. I get some. I watch the brackets. Will be some tough matches, but not what I don't did it before. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get like maybe a guy asked me that, man, how you feel, man? Like how you gonna fight together like 12 fights and you have like just 2? I'm like, man, I have 1,000 jiu-jitsu fights, whatever. I fight all my life. You know what I mean? That's just another business day.
Another day.
Yeah.
And for you, so I see you guys have MMA fighters too, right?
Yeah.
So how's that for you building the grappling? You guys do a lot of nogi classes too. I see. So the jiu-jitsu, then the transitions to MMA. How do you guys do that in your school?
Yeah. Well, I would put it like this. So first thing I'll say is, so I'm the head coach on the jiu-jitsu side, like the grappling department, if you will. On the MMA side, I'm lucky that I work with Kamal Shah LaRousse and Charles DeGisco. Kamal, I mean, I don't know if you all know who Kamal is, but he fought in the UFC, fought Khabib, wrestled for Iran for many years, and so he's just got like he's got he's been
Out his background.
yeah, like I mean he's been grappling since he was probably like 6 or 7, in the old country, man. So for like 35, 40 years of experience, plus the UFC, plus WEC. So he brings the MMA expertise, and the way we, like, to give you a specific answer, like our fighters, our MMA fighters, have to train everything. So pretty much all of our guys, with a few exceptions, like we have some strikers who come from other gyms to pick up their grappling. Our guys who are like homegrown from like basically white belt up to like, in the MMA world, we'll call them white belts. Our day one guys, like they're nurtured from like childhood, like grapplers, right? So they got fundamental BJJ, and I mean wrestling. They have to wrestle like 3 days a week minimum. And so obviously I mentioned Kamal, right, who was an international wrestler, Olympic level wrestler, but we also have 4 or 5 D1 wrestlers, right? Like our head coach, Mark Sorello, of the wrestling team, wrestled at American. Cameron Thompson, who is his assistant coach, wrestled at Iowa State. And we have a series of fighters like Virginia Tech wrestlers, Penn State wrestlers, just guys just from the area. Like, these wrestlers, they see one dude who wrestled, and they all want to wrestle with that guy. Then, bang, bang, bang. So, so like we have like we kind of set the bar high. We make them. It's like required. Like you have to be good at wrestling. Kamal won't sign off on you as like to let you fight under him, the team, unless he feels like you're doing your work. And then putting all that together. Obviously, there's the striking side of that as well, but it starts with grappling. Like you have to go in. You have to do your work. So. Some of those guys will put on the kimono if it's like something that they're serious about learning jiu-jitsu. They come in, they train a couple days in the week in the gi, but mostly it's no gi.
What do you think about that? Like, they should train in the gi or don't?
Here's my answer. Like, I don't think you have to. I think if you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, yes, you do. I think if you want to be a competent MMA fighter and have enough jiu-jitsu, wrestling, right, to be able to go in and out of grappling exchanges, you don't need the gi in MMA. But if you want to become, I'll put it this way. At least in my gym, the guys who are the best at no-gi grappling are doing gi as well, or have done it sometime. If they're brown or black belt, they did it white, blue, purple, right?
And now
they decided to specialize.
I want to do no-gi.
Well, yeah, I'm going to work on my no-gi skills for a while. But like I've consistently seen that, at least in my community, like our room, right? But there are some of our fighters who they're not. I mean, occasionally, like a lot of our guys go to the PBJJF and they do local tournaments, man. Like Shane Marshall, who's fighting this Saturday, our guy. He's kind of like, I think he went and won one of the absolute divisions at PBJJF. By the way, he's a blue belt. Bragging on my guy, but I mean, he's a wrestler by background. Picked up jiu-jitsu and does a lot of no-gi jiu-jitsu here. He's got a gi, I think, but I've only seen him wear it like 5 times maybe. But he's mostly fighting MMA.
Is that a Brave gi?
If he gets another gi, it needs to be a Brave gi.
We'll get him. He wear the gis on the ear party.
Yeah. When everyone else is trying to get promoted, he shows up in the gis like, but so because he's an MMA fighter, and like he grapples, right? He comes to these tournaments. He's just like a competitor, man. Like he likes to go to these tournaments.
I feel who grapple get more experience too, because like, man, it's hard you like do the MMA, and when you're off between the fights, you doing like a Muay Thai fight or whatever, or like a box, but you also can grapple.
That's kind of what our guys do. Yeah. In between fights, it's
between
like,
fights, you do like some jiu-jitsu.
Give me something to motivate me. Give me a reason to push my skills a little bit over here.
I like that.
And I saw a couple of your guys are competing at the last PBJJF Baltimore Spring Open. They look sharp.
That was last weekend, right?
Last weekend, yeah. Last weekend.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, yeah. They look sharp, pretty sharp.
Thank you.
But the Virginia ones, they come strong.
We go to the Virginia one big,
Virginia ones, they go strong.
It was because it's closer, right? So we bring a ton of guys,
But some guys still come, we see people traveling now.
I find out from my guys, they're like, I'm going to PBJF like next weekend. Every week someone's coming up to me and telling me, hey, like me and 3 or 4 other people, we're gonna go compete. I'm like, yo, we need to get like a list serve or like an email list, so I just know what they're doing. Right?
That's hard to keep it cold to everyone, though, because like
Luckily, we have assistant coaches, but dude, I'm with you, man. That's why part of me is kind of like, well, I wish I would have known, man. Like
I put a list, man. Like, hey, I will be on these events. If you fight other events, I'm not gonna be there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how I
That's
feel.
on my schedule.
Yeah.
Like without that, go by yourself. Ask for a friend.
But you know what, man? I bet you've competed by yourself before.
Many times.
Me too.
Many times.
Right? Like sometimes you just got to do that. If you're serious about competing, right? You're like, hey, I've traveled across state lines. I've gone on airplanes by myself, right? I've gone divisions where I've won.
I did a bunch of super fights by myself.
Yeah. I did a super fight. During COVID, I did a super fight in Austin, Texas, fight to win by myself, went down there, no one in my corner, won, hung out by myself afterwards in Austin, Texas, partied. I had fun.
That's fun.
It was good.
What I do, like when I go by myself, ask about, when you start competing more, you know people, you know.
Yeah.
I got like the last one, I remember, I fought in Dallas too. Dallas or Houston, something like that. But like Pedro Mourinho fight on the same card. I don't pick nobody to coach me, and he leave and I get to do my fight. I'm like, hey, you can stay there. Just tell the time, man. That's fine.
Yo, can you corner me real fast, bro?
Yeah. And he sit down there and like he coach me good. I think I beat Tex Johnson this time. It's good match, man.
Good match.
I think he down, boom. He going for the foot lock. I'm like, God damn, I leave my leg alone. But it works. And Pedro helped me a lot on this day, you know.
He's a good wrestler too.
He's good wrestler, Pedro.
Yeah.
And I remember myself traveling like cross country, 13, 14 years old by myself. I came first time here in the U.S. by myself, 15 years old, no English.
How was your English? None.
Zero English. And there's no
Below 5.
There's no there's no smartphones. I had the dictionary. I had to figure out. I had some address to go.
Builds character.
Some money. You know, I got to remember getting to LA. The airport was like, oh,
It's huge.
I'm
Now
inside
what?
I'm inside the GTA. I was looking people around like it looks like GTA. It's like, all right, I gotta figure this out. And I had to find the cheapest way to get to place because I couldn't get a
Was it
cab.
Long Beach? Were you going to the
Long
Worlds?
Beach, yes.
Yeah, Walter Pyramid.
Get the
So, like,
shadow, get the
LA,
van, get the van,
shadow, people
It's not
Right,
easy,
get
man.
it.
It's
It's
not
hard.
I know English, and it's not easy, bro. Like,
Shadow,
I can't.
and from there, like, hey, drop me at this, like, and people are going through the places, like, where are those guys taking me? Where am I going?
And the first time I get the shadow too, I'm scared, man. People get in the van, like I'm like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and man, that's this
Where
guy.
am I going?
And my time is not gonna be my time. Oh my God, they drive like 40 minutes, leave people, but then I get there. Like,
It's way cheaper, right? I
way
don't,
cheaper than Uber or
Yeah.
tax. On that time, I don't think
They
so.
didn't
They
have
have a
Uber,
Uber,
no.
just like tax.
even I didn't have a cell phone.
Cable. How say that?
Cab.
Cab.
I didn't have
Cabby.
cell phone. I had to going to call to Brazil, my family in Brazil. I had to buy a card, go to the how do you call the phones on the street? Public phones.
Payphones.
Public,
Payphones.
the public
You have
one.
an international card too, right?
An international card,
Yeah.
and we would go to the gas station, and then
Public
call.
phone.
No, I didn't even have cell phone at
You
that time.
you older man. When I get here, I got a smartphone
No,
already.
hey, but no,
What-
that was 2008, 7 or 8. I didn't have
Oh
a
my God.
smartphone in Brazil. I had the Nokia old one with the lights.
The lights.
And had the game Snake.
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
one,
this
yeah.
day,
I
that
know
was
it's
fun.
fake.
It's good.
So
Yeah, first time I come to USA, that's like already 2011, I think so. 2011. They have already
Starting to come
I-
around. iPhones are out.
iPod is the thing.
iPod.
You know,
Yeah, I think I had an iPod.
you can get the internet, not call, but they have the internet and get talk.
It's
to my-
almost a smartphone.
almost a smartphone. Yeah, talk to my partners like on the Facebook at that time. It's easy.
And for you, Scott, have you been traveling out to Brazil or?
I've never been to Brazil. I really want to go though.
You should.
I know.
Let's plan this travel.
go,
this
man.
trip.
What is
I'll go.
Brazil on your view? Like, what do you expect from Brazil in your view? From people talking?
Okay, I'll give you two answers, right? First one, this is maybe just like the American in me, like wants it to be a big party. Like all my Brazilian
That's
friends.
because the carnival.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just one big party. I mean, all of my Brazilian friends, everyone I talk to, that says what Max says, are like, let's go. I'm always getting invited, so I feel like I'm like, it already has this warm feeling to it. Right? I'm like, man, I can't wait to go. Plus, it's like I associate it with jiu-jitsu and with my friends, right?
Yeah.
So I think of it through that.
It's a
lens.
jiu-jitsu Nepal. No, just kidding.
Jiu-jitsu. That, and then the other part of me that I think through is sort of like the training opportunity, right? Like, so you all know Matt Miller, right? Like,
Yeah,
his wife is Brazilian.
Yeah.
He's gone to Brazil lots of times. He tells me about going down there and like how it's like you go down there and like just I think gi jiu-jitsu, right? Like a lot of good gi jiu-jitsu and like lots of young kids who've been training since they're boys who are just awesome.
Yeah.
No one knows their name.
True.
They're just working, right? Just humble young kids, just going.
And wait for opportunity, man.
That's right.
Nah.
No,
That's
it's
right.
great.
Competitions like every weekend,
Every
and everywhere you
weekend.
go. Yeah.
is.
Am I right?
Hey,
Is that how
you're
was that?
right.
How was
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Party. The Brazilians like party. You know, like hey.
If you want to
Saturday,
party
Sunday.
Monday to Monday, you can. You
I don't
just
know if
need
I
to
should
find
go.
the
I
right
don't know if I'll
part.
do any. If I go, I might not do any jiu-jitsu. I might just be at the party.
Hey, do
Show up to
train
class.
early in the morning, and then you have the rest
That's
of the
true.
day.
I could do that.
Get on the first training session in the morning, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever.
Take the day off.
Go to the beach, get a good lunch, and party the night. Not party too hard during the week you can train again, but like Friday, Saturday can go a little bit harder.
Yes, sir.
You-
Most-
we got connections if you need.
I like that. Yeah, I do need
We'll
connections.
help you out.
Yeah,
if
please
you go
do.
to
No, we
Brazil.
need to figure out the time to bring like a bunch of friends
Hey,
together.
these
You know, do like a
PBJJF,
camping, you
hey,
know.
PBJJF experience,
Experience
to
to
Brazil.
Honestly,
Yeah.
why don't you do that?
Sure, I would love do like kind of like a camp, like 1 week.
Everybody
Boom,
goes.
2
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
whatever,
Find a
that's
cool
some-
place where you all stay.
Yeah.
A big, buy 25 slots at some resort or a place, right? Sell it to
And like
all of us for a
bring
little
like
bit.
De La Riva to do a seminar. Bring like Julio Cesar to do a seminar. Some like of the OG guys. It would be cool.
My
Definitely
professor
can do
Rodrigo
that.
Madeiras, like the BJJ Revolutionist, Foca, Rodrigo Madeiras, they do that. They canceled the last one, I think, because of just like some schedule conflicts came up or whatever. But like they've been doing that in Rio once a year for like 4 or 5 years now.
That's.
I think it
cool.
gets
That's
pretty like a
That's
lot of
cool,
people
yeah.
go. Yeah, people love that stuff.
Definitely gotta plan this
Do it. Hey man, count me in.
PBJJF experience.
to Brazil.
It's a new.
That's right.
It's a lot of work. We gotta find get
Yeah,
somebody
well,
to like.
yeah. Let me know when it's
We
ready.
want to
you
do
know?
everything.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
tell
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's cool. Let's try.
You do it. All right, I'll show up. You do all the work.
Let's do it.
I'll pay for it.
No, but like it was a great idea. Like, because I talked about that to my students.
Hey,
like,
I'm doing that for free, man.
But that's
Just
what I'm
like for
saying.
fun,
Like,
you
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
You're
mean?
already gonna
Yeah.
go visit,
Yeah.
right? Like, why not?
Yeah.
yeah.
You're already gonna go. You're
Yeah.
gonna train.
But it's
How many people do you already know who are like hot world class
Man,
black
yeah.
belts, right?
Man,
And
I
You've got a
remember when I
team. You've got a
started-
team. I've got a team. Tim, you had Tim on
bring
last
up
week.
people,
Like,
yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Bring
Like,
everybody
just-
together.
what do you need? 20 guys? Four,
Easy,
five,
easy,
five,
easy,
five,
easy.
five.
Yeah,
Done.
done.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I remember back in the day.
Or maybe they're watching there.
Yeah,
they
some
want
of
to
them
go.
will come too. Yeah, you heard it here first.
I remember back in the day, like Gracie Barra doing that a lot too. Like these camps, bring students, train a little bit, travel. They get like
See some
the
sights,
Yeah.
make a little kind of excursion out of it. You know, maybe bring a yoga instructor so
Yeah.
it's like chill a little bit too.
Surfing.
Surfing's
Surfing.
big. People love that.
Yeah. Açaí, of course.
açaí,
bring the açaí.
bibi sucos.
Shout out to BB Suco, sponsor us. But and also like for me, I think like just know that you're gonna be with someone that knows the culture in the front there makes you feel safer. You know, like because if I go to a different country that I don't know much, and some news that I watch are not the ones that I wanna, like Middle East. I don't know. I would be scared going in,
Right.
unless I would go with a group of people that kind of know. Can
They
guide
guide
me
you.
me through the I think I would be safer, and maybe later on so I'm going my own. I think that's kind of the best way to go, to
I
be
would
honest.
prefer it that way
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And no, that's
I
cool.
remember one time I have experience on Turkey. I traveled to Russia. Look at this. That's a funny history. Short, long history. That's how people say. I traveled to Russia to fight the ACB. Come back. When I come back, I forgot my passport. I have on that time I have two because when your passport's expired, sometimes you still have your visa on this passport, but you need to have another passport. I forgot the old one with the visa. Come back and get it in the Turk. I should get on a plane to USA and you should show your visa, and boom, give my passport. The lady, no, you don't have a visa. How you want to get on this plan? I'm like, no, I have a visa. She, you don't have. I'm like, I have. You don't have. I'm like, let me see. Boom, get it. I'm like, fuck, this is the new passport. Lost my ticket. Should be on the Turkey into to Monday because my friends need to send by like May, you know, the passport from US to Turk, and I be there like all the weekend, and I'm by myself, you know.
Istanbul.
I don't know. I think Istanbul.
That's the big city.
On the
That's
big
the big
on the
one.
biggest
On
city,
the
airport,
water,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's got to be Istanbul.
It's beautiful.
I've heard.
I remember like people that like ask a lot. That's one thing. Like guys see my hat like, hey, can I have like the cable guy? Hey, you give me that? I'm like, no. Like, then they ask for money. I'm like, God damn, I don't feel safe here, you know. And I'm scared to do that like tour on a city, you know. I get like in one place like it's popular. I'm like, man, fuck, I'll be on the hot all the weekend and just order foods. And I'd be like, now I'm frustrated. Looking back, I'm like, fuck, this beautiful city, and I don't enjoy the weekends there, you know. But on that time, I'm just like, whatever. But if I have somebody from there, if I know somebody, I have like way more experience and a lot of more things to talk about this trip, you know.
Yeah.
Without the bad part.
Yeah.
How did you ended up getting it? Did it get on time?
No,
Your
my friend Gutenberg, he arrived first than me because he got his visa with him, you know. And when he arrived, he sent to me, and Monday afternoon, they get like my passport in the hotel. I buy another ticket and back to Ohio. I'm like no money on this time, but thanks God I get in a rush and I win the division, and that is good money. ACB is good. They
How
pay
was
good.
ACB? Are they still doing it? Like I feel like they stopped around the pandemic.
I think they stop and do. They do. That's like the Nogi Awards from ACB, you know. And I get my division. I close out the open class with 2 more friends, and man, long time I don't see that amount of money on my hand, like before. And then like I get the money. I'm like, thanks God, and I spend half on the on the trip to back you home.
That's but we see a lot of events coming and going, you know, like sometimes I think it's a hard process.
It's a hard business, yeah.
Building like a competition, you know, teams doing trying to do all the work. It's a lot of work behind before the event happens. And
I
we
don't
see
know.
a lot of people coming and go, you know, like fast.
I don't know how they survive that long. Cause man, this event I remember they pay for me, Gutenberg, and Dante to pay the tickets, pay the hotel, you know, and then like get that the division, get a
big paycheck.
money, big paycheck, the open class big paycheck, and it's like not much people in the tournament.
Not really
you know?
sustainable.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
like, man, how these guys can pay their bills, can pay like for all, and on this same event they have like a Grand Prix. Nogi, where like Preguiça fight, Gutenberg fight on the Grand Prix, man, Isaac, a lot of big names fight on the Grand
They're
Prix.
all getting paid.
And all they get
Get
paid
paid good
just
money.
to go.
Yeah.
You know, without the winner, they get paid just to show. And I'm like, man, that's like
A lot of money.
a lot of money.
How do you get it back?
Yeah, on my
yeah.
on my business mind, I'm
we
like, that's
feel-
not how.
They were streaming, I think, right? They did a streaming. I mean, I don't know how many people watched it.
They did it.
I've
in
never
the
watched
US.
one live.
Yeah.
I always saw highlights.
I remember they bring like bigger names, you know, like and I think like a lot of times some governments they kind of want to advertise jiu-jitsu in their countries, so they
I've been
give
looking
more
at that too,
support.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
we I don't know if it's that even possible for PBJJF get some support from the government. It's not something that we have thought about it, but
Yeah.
like a lot of different countries,
Kind of
because
like
it's
small
like
countries, probably.
small countries they start to like
Department of like sport or whatever
Yes,
sponsors
they-
and funds.
they
They want to
support,
promote it in their
yes.
culture.
and they don't need that back, you know, like not a business, you
Yeah.
know, like they really sponsor.
There's no profit incentive for them. They just,
Yeah.
No.
I mean, whereas a small business like you guys, it's sort of like, hey, how do we
got-
justify the existence of
Yeah.
this? It needs to produce money.
If it doesn't, if we don't have revenue, we can't do
How does it
anything. You know,
survive?
like we have our team that we need to support. We need all this production to work. The day of the event, staff. You know, like it needs to be sustainable.
Right.
That's we're trying to grow sustainably so we can stay
Consistent.
lifetime. Yeah,
Consistent.
Yeah.
consistent.
And
so
for a long time in the business.
the biz.
Yeah.
But what do you see? Like, how do you see what are your goals? What are your goals for yourself and for your schools? You know, in the next few years, what are you expecting the industry to grow?
Yeah. Well, so personally, I have a lot of competition goals still. Excuse me. I my ambition lies mostly still in the nogi jiu-jitsu world. So I'm gonna be spending most of my big competitions will be Pan Am's, Nogi Pans, Nogi Worlds, ADCC trials, super fights. Keeping it there. That's just it keeps me motivated. It's fun. I've made it pretty far in that space, and I've got still more things I want to accomplish there. Right.
Yeah.
Man, I love the gi though. Like I train in the gi a couple times a week. Even though like most of my hard training, my conditioning, my thinking, my strategy, all my work is no gi. I put on the gi a couple times a week, whether it's like private lessons or coaching a class. Man, it's so fun. When I'm like in my I think I'll be 36 next month, right? So masters too, but probably like when I cross into my 40s, I'll start doing more gi competitions. I think just I'm never gonna stop competing. I think, and just even if it's like
You have
masters.
that in
No.
you, yeah.
Yeah, man, I love it.
I have the same
I
problem.
have a feeling you guys both. Something tells me you guys
Yeah.
might have that same feeling. Yeah, but I think I'll kind of I'll probably do like so. Like I look at my leader Rodrigo Medeiros. Like I look at him, right? Like the head of our team. Guess what he does, right? Nogi Worlds. He puts on the gi and he runs his team, successful academy, promotes black belts, seminars all over, and then a couple times a year he goes to the tournaments. It's fun for him. I mean, he competed, with the Carlson Gracie senior team, like Vitor, Ricardo Arona, all those guys, Carlson
cool.
Jr. for years, right? So it's like fighting's in his blood. But he's fought so many times, right? MMA, Vale Tudo, Jiu-Jitsu, Nogi Jiu-Jitsu, ADCC many years ago. I think it's just like he just can't not do it, even if it's like once a year,
Yeah.
just to put it on.
Get that
Nogi Worlds,
adrenaline.
go see all your.
I feel this keep
Yeah.
me like wake up every day.
Yeah,
When,
it motivates you.
Yeah, motivated, man.
Well, he's like in his-
Sometimes you slow down a little bit, increase, boom, back and forth, but like
You're never gonna not do it.
I feel I'm gonna like fight it.
You're
until
always
I'm
gonna
like
do it till you
80.
die. Yeah.
Until die.
You're gonna bury in your
Yeah.
gi. But yeah, so
And a big problem when like you train, boom, or start teaching and you get away from the tournaments a little bit, and you look and I'm like, I beat these guys, man.
Yeah.
And you like back training harder when show
and they're
up
still
in the
going. You're
tournament.
like, I can still
yeah.
beat that guy's ass. Yeah. I understand. But so yeah, so I have a lot of things on my plate personally. I want to do. My team. I'm like we were talking earlier. I feel like my academy's like gotten to like where it's like.
I'm listening.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
got you.
put the mic.
Roger that. I'm comfortable, and granted, we want to grow, we want to do a lot of things like business wise, but we're pretty we're fairly established in our area, right? So like now I want to think about nurturing like my blue, purple, brown belts and other black belts, like get them to I want them to start winning stuff. If that's what they want to do, I want to start nurturing these guys.
And maybe in the future they open another DME.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
That's like a
Maybe, man.
investment too.
Yeah, we think
Depends
about.
how the culture you put down.
That's right.
To that. I feel.
That's right. There's a lot of interesting things like you could do with the business, right? Like from that perspective, you have your franchising model, right? Like, does that make sense? Do we go and open a second or third location in a different geography, right? Kind of like start capturing market share over here. Start thinking about different areas and stuff. Or like, do I say to one of my like high-ranking belts or whatever that I've known for a long time, saved up some money, like, hey, do you want to go in and franchise model? You own X percentage of it. We own Y percentage of it. Give you the playbook. Here's the system. Go run it. And hey, guess what? Your dreams have come true. Now you're a jiu-jitsu, business owner. You can leave your whatever job, software job. You don't love it, but it's allowed you to save some money. We can cultivate like an opportunity, give people the opportunity to go out and kind of fulfill their dreams. Right. So, that's something we think about too.
And during that, all these schools can get wholesale products from Brave Kimonos.
That's right, man. I know a couple guys who are legit. I mean, seriously,
But
right?
it's helpful, right? Like when you have like that set up, hey, I don't have to worry about this. I just order, and then saves your time, and it gives you profit in your business.
That's right. That's why these franchise models tend to be super successful, right? Like a franchise has like a multiple, like 2 or 3 times more likely to sustain itself after like 2 or 3 years, because most businesses fail in 2 years, right? It's hard.
It is.
But when you have that like playbook, it's like, here's your software, here's what the business model looks like, here's how many employees, here's how many members you need paying whatever amount of money, $150 or something, 80 people, $150, your rent, your overhead. All right, you need to bring in this much money, you're bringing in that much money. Cool, so now you're making ends meet, and then everything is going to become profit. Like, here's how you sell it, here's the different types of memberships you should have, and like, just keep it organized. So if you go to someone, you're like, just do this.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, it's better doing that than going and figuring it out for yourself, right?
Like, that's the hard part.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And
you did already.
And look, you're gonna burn so much money making mistakes that the business fail. If you get the process,
You just need to
done.
follow.
You just follow the process.
That's right.
It's like teaching the students, right? Hey, follow this process.
That's exactly
You're
right.
gonna be successful.
Or you can go fight people on the street and figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, figure it out on your own.
And
But
sometimes
that's
like little details make a lot of difference.
it does.
Man, that hand's little bit high.
And
Boom.
sometimes you need to go, hey, hold right here and push this
Like,
way.
oh my God.
And then it
That-
works.
Yeah.
And then it works.
And that's definitely in the business too.
Yeah.
Hey,
If you put the skin
Move
in the
here.
game before you know most of everything that they happen, that's an art.
it's
You can-
definitely and jiu-jitsu is
can
growing
share
so
these
much
things,
that I really believe jiu-jitsu is going to be the most practiced sport in the world.
like combat sport.
Combat sport
Yeah.
in the world.
I
Gonna-
believe in that. Yeah.
We're gonna see so many people in a near future from the pace that's growing. I'm kind of nerd. I see all the data. Like, I go on Google, see research, and I'm a jiu-jitsu nerd. I was a nerd in school because I wasn't finding
TD8 don't let
the
the
right
hit.
the right focus, because I always focus in jiu-jitsu. I focus everything, even through schools. Like, I want to do jiu-jitsu. I realized that I'm kind of nerd in jiu-jitsu. We learn about like figuring out like the best fabric for gis, the best marketing, the best way of teaching, figuring out techniques, data, some things that I would never think before. But I'm really I learned this a lot from my students, because hey, JP, I do this in my world. Oh, you do? This is my work in jiu-jitsu. That's pretty cool. I
Let
never
me
thought
try.
about this, Like, and you also work in a different field, right? Financial.
Yeah.
So
Payment
tell us
processing.
a little bit about
Sure,
that.
sure. Yeah, so in 2016, I founded another company called Primo Payments. We did a little bit of work on the jiu-jitsu payment side of things, as you all know. Basically, what that is a payment processing company for any type of small business. However, now we focus on a specific market segment, but high-risk businesses. In any case, essentially, like, the quick version is, if you're running a business and you need to accept credit cards from your customers, we give you the technology and the ability to do that. So, yeah, my last day job was working in that industry, so I learned a lot of like the trade I got trained up, educated on that. I really like the business model, because it's like you have to do a lot of work for your customers. Excuse me. To gain their trust, right? Because in a lot of ways, it's sort of like they're trusting you with the lifeblood of the business, like getting paid, your cash flow.
Are you more software?
It's
Kinda?
kind of like there is some software, but it's dude, it's the quick way to explain it is kind of yes, but it's a financial services product, so it's more like going through banks and saying, hey, you need what's called basically like a payment gateway, which is software.
We use that, right? We spoke before.
You use that with Stripe,
Yeah.
correct? Yep, they use a payment gateway. That's
No,
exactly.
no. Go to your company, not Stripe.
Well, I mean, you want to use it with my company, of course, but so sometimes it's software, sometimes it's hardware, right? It could be plug it into your phone, swipe, or like you go to like a Giant or Harris Teeter or whatever, get groceries, Wawa, whatever, and you insert the chip reader, right? Your card, like so, like it can if you don't have a present physical card that you're using, then it's going to be software. But behind the scenes, like that all just basically leverages different financial technology that communicates with the bank, right? So when you insert your chip, basically what that's doing is saying like, all right, does this person have an available balance to pay for like $10 worth
This
of
amount,
chips
yeah.
and like, soft drink or whatever.
You integrate like with the bank.
That's right. That's right.
That's
That's
pretty
cool.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's not as cool as jiu-jitsu, but what's cool about it is the business model. I really like the business model, right? Because it's like if you keep your customers happy, you just get percentages. Keep them happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Keep growing.
Keep them happy. Yeah. You know, when they have questions, the big thing is just being available if they want. They need customer service, right? Because someone else can do what I'm doing. Why would they work with me? Well, because, you know, if we help them out,
The
we
connections.
the
like
connections. I mean, there's other technology that I'll leverage that gives us a competitive advantage, right? But at the end of the day, like, you know, if someone else can do what I'm doing, what makes us different? It's the service,
The relationship.
The
Definitely, the
relationship.
customer service is a big deal. If like something happen at the momento, I need
You're gonna
like
panic.
The way
charge
you handle,
somebody
the way
and
you
I
handle things
yeah.
are
That's right. Well,
thinking
imagine
about
like
the customer.
hey, look, you're getting ready to open your gym. Maybe you're opening a second location, right? Or you're,
Soon.
God willing, or you're looking to grow into a new location, right? And you want to finance that, and you're thinking to yourself, like, do I want to go get a loan? Maybe I'll get a small loan. Okay, well, I have this much in the bank. All right, so this plus this gets me like 80% of what I need to finance. In 2 weeks, I know what I'm going to make off of Culture of Jiu-Jitsu or whatever because I have technology. Tells me every month I make, you know, pick a number.
That much.
That much money, right. So I can forecast out, well, if I wait 6 more weeks, I'm going to get this money. But what you need is you need your technology to feed you that money every day, right? At least every month.
Yeah.
And if something goes down and you're trying to make decisions, what if that stopped you from planning your next facility or whatever, right? You need the cash flow. So it's important. If that goes down, you call me, you're Scott, what's going on, dude? Like, you know, I'm supposed to make $25,000 a day. Why is my payment down? So we get on the phone, we figure it out, we turn it back on, $25,000 hit your bank, okay? Rather than you not having someone to call. Who are you going to call at Square or PayPal?
Yeah.
You know? Jeff Bezos? Like, he's not going to pick up the phone. He's like,
Who owns this Stripe?
Stripe is owned by PayPal.
PayPal.
Yeah.
But I like the connection direct to the owner. You know.
Yeah.
I feel that's a big thing for us now too on PBJJF.
So we're using PayPal without knowing we're using PayPal.
Yeah.
They're yeah, kind
They
of.
buy the other.
It's
company.
different, right? Stripe has, like, for what it's worth, like, they have the technology we talked about. They're good for, like, what's called card not present, so like e-commerce, website payments, this PBJJF, right? Because people go to the website, they submit, they pay, bang. I mean, you don't want
The gateway you connect with the website.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
This Stripe, PayPal don't do that.
PayPal does. I don't think it's as good as Stripe. Stripe's better.
And your company does this too.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
Shout out.
But like-
give you
Shout out to Primo Payments.
Primo
Primo
Payments. If you need
Primo Payments.
payment service, shout out to Primo Payments.
That's
guys.
right. Primo Payments.
So Scott, I think guys, Scott has to go because we're on our late time, so we had to figure out some cables.
I'm sorry about that.
Stuff here,
It's my fault.
because our new setup. So we're really trying to improve every day here,
Yeah.
Scott. You're following us, I think, from the tournaments, right? Like
Oh,
every
yeah.
time we try to improve.
Well, look at where you all started. Now we're doing multiple events a month. Like, it's going, man.
And
There's
it's-
momentum.
Momentum, yeah. like
Jiu-Jitsu's growing, man.
it's
We
really
should
from the
put
support, you
the
know, from the
work
community.
to
Yeah,
help it.
man.
They grow too, you know.
We're here for it. You got my team support.
Yeah, we
Usa.
appreciate, man. Shout out to Primo Payments.
That's right. Primo Payments,
You're
District
supposed-
Martial
I
Arts.
think, hey,
Should put over here.
We'll work something out, guys. We'll work something
it
out.
would work. But and man, we really appreciate you coming
Yeah,
here. We know
happy
it's
to
a
be here,
long drive. You know, like a team did that yesterday. He also
And then he also has
I'm
the
wearing the high noon hat.
high noon hat.
This was a gift from Tim.
Nice.
Shout out to my friend Tim.
Shout out to T.
Tim.
Here's
High
the
Noon
man
Boys.
over here in the comments. And guys, don't forget to subscribe
He'll
to
watch.
the channel, please.
Yeah, he just live it.
Hi, Tim.
Just popped in to say Scott Dance is the man.
Oh, well, thank you. No, you're the man.
And yeah, guys, thank you for being with us at this episode with Scott Dance. Man, if you want to visit Scott, what they should go?
We're in Arlington, Virginia. Go to the website, reach out to us. We'd love to have you come through. DistrictMartialArts.com.
Is everybody welcome?
Everybody's welcome.
Everybody's
Oos.
welcome. Make sure you guys
Oos.
stop by. Also, don't forget Brave Kimonos. Right now, after we finish, you can go to the website.
We have the QR code
Above
somewhere
your
here.
head, above your head, right there. So make sure you guys go to the website, support Brave as well. Brave Kimonos, you know, the best gear out there. I know Scott used Brave products
Stylish.
before.
It's not just local, it's stylish. You want to look good, right? You go out, you compete, you're putting your best foot forward, you're fighting, you put all that work for years and months into your training, and you want to go out and look like a professional.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's the way.
Kimonos.
Be
Shout out to
brave.
Brave Kimonos. Be brave.
Go there and use a PBJJF or PBJJF 10 for 10% off. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Give
Comment,
us a feedback.
share.
Share this with everybody. Give us feedback on the new mic setup. See if it's helpful. I saw some people asking about like bring the volume a little bit higher. But I think I did. I don't know if I did a good job with it, but let me know on the comments. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
See you guys next time.